By the time you watch this, I do hope the SpaceX all-civilian launch has gone a-okay. Now, the Canon R3, you should be excited about it if you like the look of full frame and you are going to present in 4K 60 frames per second because it shoots full frame 6K 60 frames per second RAW. And that's important because of super sampling. Super sampling is when an image looks much better when recorded at a very large resolution and then presented at a smaller one. So if you have a 4K TV and you shoot at 6K, but then export the file at 4K, you're going to notice it looks a lot better than if you just started with a 4K sensor and 4K footage to begin with. And you can really see this by watching Netflix's Chef's Table series that was shot on one of the Red cameras. I don't remember exactly which one it was at this point, but it just looks really, really nice. And you go, well, the screen I'm looking at, 4K, hasn't changed, but for some reason, this footage just looks like that little bit better than the stuff that was shot at 4K. And that is the result of super sampling. And there's really no other camera. Well, there's the Sony FX9 that has a 6K full frame sensor. But at this moment, in this current firmware, you can't actually shoot at 6K 60. What it does is it takes the 6K 60 full frame sensor imagery and then it downsamples it in camera and gives you a 4K file, which, as I just explained, is great. But sometimes, let's say there was some shake in footage and you need to crop in because of stabilization, it's not quite as malleable if you have that 4K file than if you have that entire 6K file to work with. So to sum it up, if you are interested in taking the time to shoot RAW and you like the look of full frame and you're going to present in 4K 60 frames per second with that very nice super sampled imagery and that little fine difference is important to you, this $6,000 camera is, well, in a league of its own. So the Red V-Raptor and Red Monstro can shoot 8K 60 frames per second. Actually, the V-Raptor can do 8K 120. But since that is a $24,000 camera, that's in quite a different bracket than a $6,000 camera. So I'm not really going to compare the two for this video.